Well, welcome back to Rolling Hills Farm MN. It's time for seeding, and we've got the Melrose seeder all ready to go. I rebuilt the clutch over the winter and made some other adjustments. Everything's greased and calibrated so we can get in the field quickly. So this year we're putting barley in the top 3 or 4 acres of the first field we're going to do. And you can see the old Dodge truck is behind me here, and we ran over to a neighboring community to get barley seed. None of the elevators near us actually had barley. So why barley? Well, simple. With the cost of corn coming up this feeding season, it'll be a lot more expensive to feed out our steers. And barley does the same thing, only we can grow barley in this area where you really can't grow corn. So corn's just a cash purchase. If this works, this barley field will give us the feed value we need to fatten these animals, coupled with, obviously, they're all on grass, and we've always finished them with a little bit of corn and then our own home-raised oats. Barley is seeded just the way the oats are. You can see the 2 boxes on this seed drill. The upper box is where the grain goes, and the smaller box is where the hayseed goes. Goes in through these seed tubes, and you see the disc openers that cut a slot in the ground, and the seed drops right in through the double disc openers. And then these packer wheels close up the seed trench. And whether you're seeding barley or whether you're seeding oats, it's all the same as far as planting is concerned. I've got the disc and the drag on right now, and the field is looking pretty smooth. So what we're hoping is we can get these first 8 acres seeded and then go back in to the other 4 or 6 and see if we can seed those down tomorrow or the next day. We got rain coming later this week. After a couple of days of clouds and wind, the soil seems to have dried out enough. So at least this main field, 6 acres, I can get across with the disc and the drag, and we should be able to seed this afternoon. The lower fields are going to have to wait another day. Right, so we're moving now, planting alfalfa hayseed with barley as a cover crop. We're about 2 weeks late. and but we've got rain coming in the next couple of days, so we're hoping that getting it in the ground now with all the lime and horse manure, followed by a good rain, and we can get, because the heat units are happening, we can get some quick growth and a good crop. Well, it took some adjustment, but we had to force down the no-till seeder just a little more. That first pass, there's too much seed exposed on the surface, so we're hoping that. Well, no, I jumped the chain again. So we've got a little bit of a problem with the seeder. I don't know if we've got the seed bed too solid, but we're having a little trouble driving in the seed, and what happens is if I put too much down pressure on this seeder, I throw a chain. So if I go slow and put a moderate amount of down pressure on, we can get the seed in as deep as we want it. So that's what we're doing for this first stretch. We're just going kind of slow. While I'm seeding, Dawn's going along with the packer, and she lays down a nice flat seed bed by packing it. So you can see she's driving the packer, and it's an old steel wheel packer that's built on a disc frame, or it's bolted up underneath the disc frame. So with the change to oats and regular hayseed, we're putting down timothy, which is a broad grass, tall grass, and Alside clover, which are the little white clovers that really smell good. And this hay mix we've found, 60-40, is a really good for dry round bales or square bales, a really good hay mix that we can dry here in this climate and get up as dry hay in a reasonable amount of time. So I'm going to start seeding that with just straight oats as a cover crop. So Dawn is down seeding the lower section now. I don't know if you can see her down there. And while she's doing that, I'm taking the packer and I'll pack down the sections she's already seeded so we can make a firmer seed bed. Here's the field after we get done planting. And you can see it's bumpy. There's ridges and there's some grain showing. And if you look over here, here's a section after the roller has been over. And you can see the rocks are driven down. It's pretty smooth, and there's really no oats showing in the furrows at all. Everything's been buried. Well, here's a few oats, but rocks like this are driven into the sod so that we're not going to hit them with our haying equipment. Well, the lower sections of this field are just too wet, where the seeder is clumping up and the tractor tires are spinning, so we're going to have to come back and do it on a different day. So that's probably going to do it for today. We've got most of this field planted. We've got 2 more fields to go, and we're going to need to have just a little bit drier weather to get that done. Thanks for coming along, and I hope to see you again next time.